What is up, guys and girls? Hurricane Liz here, and in this video I give you 3 absolute must-have tips in order to help your Walmart store keep running for the long term. Keep in mind, these are the things that most people do wrong, and when they do these things wrong, there is a huge possibility that Walmart will suspend and or terminate your ass permanently from their platform. So you want to make sure that you implement these things or something similar to them in order to run a long-term and profitable business. I'm super fired up for these tips. I hope you're fired up. Let's do this. Right, so in this video, I'm going to talk about 3 really big mistakes that you need to learn how to handle in order to make sure that your Walmart store runs for a very long time. So before I do jump into that, just remember my email is below in case you do want to talk about how either to do a Walmart store yourself and or how to take on a team to do it for you that does full automation from A to Z, which means it's all hands off. All you really do is get everything together, and that's basically it. So let's talk about these 3 really huge things or factors that you have to take into consideration when you do have your Walmart store. And the reason that these are vitally important is because if you don't figure out how to manage these 3 things, eventually you'll get shut down. Now, Walmart is pretty forgiving, so in general, even if you do fudge these up, they will try and help you along the way. And as long as you're doing things legit and not standard drop shipping, then you should be able to stay open for quite some time. And if you do fudge up on these things, they more than likely will just suspend you. You'll be able to get your account back. Just don't do them again. But let's talk about what these are, because I always get questions like this, particularly the first one. Even though all 3 of these are extremely important. But the first question that I always get is, how in the hell are you able to maintain and to send these items out fast enough so that you don't get dinged on your metrics for tracking? And what I mean by that is we're not talking about illegitimate tracking numbers, how we dealt with standard drop shipping. That's something in the past. So a lot of people, in order to make tracking look legit to Walmart, they used to use fake tracking number. Now, these tracking numbers were sold by third-party companies, and eventually Walmart caught on, as they always will. It's just like Amazon, people. Walmart will catch on just like Amazon did, and then the shit will hit the fan and everybody's going to be freaking the F out. So how do we prevent this from happening on Walmart? Well, that's fairly simple. That's by extending the amount of time that you have in order to get the product to the customer. So the way that it usually works, as you know, Amazon takes about 2 to 3 days to get it shipped to you. And we can talk about problems with Amazon fulfilling that fast later on. But they're technically supposed to, if you have Amazon Business Prime, get the product to you within 2 to 3 days. Now, does that always happen? Absolutely not. In fact, like I said earlier, it's happening less and less. A lot of times Amazon will miss the mark on this, particularly during the holidays. So during the holidays, you want to have a good mix of other methods to use on the account. I'm talking about WFS. If you haven't heard about WFS, all it basically is the equivalent of Amazon Fulfillment by Amazon. It's Walmart's version of that. So you want to have a mix of that as well as 2-step drop shipping in order to make sure that your account stays open from a long-term perspective. So how do we get around having to ship things out on Walmart's end versus like Amazon? You've got 2 to 3 days, then you have to intercept the package, you have to repackage that shit, you got to send it out, and it's going to take, in some cases, 5-6 days from your end. So we're looking at like 7 to 10 days, right? That's what we're looking at. More than likely 7 days, especially if you ship out same day. So it's really important that you do ship out same day when you do receive it. You want to ship out same day or next day. So how do we get around that? Well, here is the magic trick that you'll want to use in order to get around that. So pay close attention. I should make you guys wait to the end, but the other 2 tips are just as good. So here we go. And again, as always, I don't know like everything. I'm not preaching this as the gospel. If you have a better way of doing this, reach out to me. My email's below. I'd love to chat with you, and together we can mastermind and figure out the absolute best strategies. I'm not stingy with my information whatsoever. I just tell you what's been working for me. You could have a much better way and make me look like a complete idiot. Hey, I'm fine with that. I look like an idiot all the time. So shoot me an email. But this is how we do it. It's as simple as going over to your settings, and then you'll go to seller fulfillment. And what happens is on this page, it's going to mention all your fulfillment settings, but what you're most interested in is right here where it says general shipping. And what you're gonna notice is there is like a calendar here where it says additional days off. And this is where you tell Walmart how many days you need to get the product to the customer. So you'll notice there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm gonna put 7 days. So now it gives me 7 days to get that product out to the customer. So again, I'm counting from the blue. Today's the 6th, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7's on there, and now all I'm gonna do is hit save, and poof, I automatically have extra days to get this shit to the customer. And now should make sure that my account is good. So what you got to do is get in the habit of either yourself and or having your VA go into the account once a day and making sure that you got at least 7 days ticked off. You can do less if you want, but you're really gonna be pushing it and cutting it close. So I recommend just doing 7 days, and that's that. And here you can also have it take off Sunday and whatnot. I'm just gonna leave it how it was and hit save. And that's pretty much it. That will be able to extend the amount of time that you have in order to get this product to the customer and solve a lot of your most common problems. So that's number one thing that could get your account shut down. Hopefully that helps a lot of you. And again, like I said, if you know of a better way, you better email me or else. But let's go to the second thing. The second thing that will absolutely get your account shut down is, again, going back to the problem with Amazon and Amazon taking forever on some shit. What will damage your account is if it does take Amazon more than the 2 to 3 promised days, which is 100% going to happen. So what kind of strategy do we have in place for that? Well, it involves messaging. So if you go over to the customer email section, what you'll want to do, and this is the way that we do it, again, you might have a better way to do this, but what we basically do is when we know that a product is not going to make the allotted amount of time that we've already set in the shipping settings and that we've told the customer we're going to fulfill within, we start to send out a series of 3 emails to the customer. In those 3 emails, we're basically telling them, and it's one of our saved templates. I'm not going to pull it up here, but it's in there. What it basically says is this. It says, hey, such and such, or hey, customer name. Unfortunately, the product that you purchased from us was damaged in the warehouse before we sent it out. We would like to process you a refund as quickly as possible. If you could please go to your dashboard and cancel this order, you'll receive that refund as quickly as possible. That's it. I know I said quickly as possible twice. It's reworded a little different so that it sounds and it flows well. And our goal is to send this one out. We send the first one out immediately upon noticing that Amazon is lagging. And then we start to send it out every 24 hours until we send out 3. If they don't reply, then we could definitely go in there and call them. And if they still don't reply, then that takes us to tip number 3. So again, 3 sequence email sent out as soon as you know that Amazon is not going to be able to fulfill, and then every 24 hours thereafter with a total of 3 emails, basically apologizing to the customer, saying the product was damaged before it went into transit and that you want to process that refund immediately. That's the key word there. The faster you cancel your order, the more fast you'll get your refund. That's kind of the gist of it. Which leads us into number 3. What happens if none of that shit works and we are in a position where there's a possibility we will get a ding on our account, right? That comes down to what you feel comfortable with. A lot of these you can let them go by, but you don't want to let too many go by. So in some instances, what we do is we send out a physical package and we shell out the $3. It's going to cost us $3 and something cents at the post office via ShipStation to ship the product to the customer. We get the tracking number and we send out a product that costs us under $1. So it's going to cost us about $4 to correct these mistakes, but they are well worth keeping the account as opposed to getting fudged overall and getting screwed at some point by being suspended and or terminated. It's going to cost us a lot more money to unsuspend the account and to hire somebody that could do that. And it's certainly going to cost us a shit ton terminating the account because now we're not making any money. So we send that out, and when they complain that they got the wrong item, then that's when we go ahead and jump in there and fix things. So that is the way that we take care of that. And again, like I said, that will help bring down the amount of cancellations and help bring down the amount of dings that you do get on your metrics. As I said, always, things are constantly evolving. There are probably better ways to do this. And if you do have one, I encourage you to let me know. Send me an email or place them below. It's great to be able to share this with everyone. However, that's it. If you want to start your own Walmart store, I just want to remind you my email is below, and or if you're seeking full-on A to Z automation, just reach out to me. Other than that, questions and comments go below. I always personally answer those, and hopefully these things helped you out. I'll see you next time.